Hello, my name is Charlotte and I love to talk about all things craft and zero waste. So I just came back from holidays. I was away for about 10 days and I came back last night, so that's Wednesday night. And while I was away, I had the idea of vlogging what I threw away every week, what I threw away in a week, into the recycling bin and into the waste bin. So I do try to minimize as much as I can what I throw away to the general waste bin. But I live in London, I live in the normal world, so it's not possible to be 100% perfect. And while I try to minimize as much as possible, over the long term I don't really know what I'm throwing away or if there's something that I could still be changing in my behavior. So I thought if I actually kind of vlog about it and then I really see what I'm throwing away, it might be interesting to know what's actually going in my bin. And I thought the day I come back from my holiday, I have a clean bin, empty general bin, empty recycling bin, because I took it all out before I went. That's a good day to start from scratch and say, okay, what am I gonna throw away in the next week? So here goes. So I've just come back from holiday and I've got all these envelopes and some stuff that I brought with me on the plane. So I wanted to sort this out first, and instead of throwing away all these paper envelopes, I decided to scrunch it up and put it in my compost. These are the envelope windows which I take out and recycle them separately in my plastic poof. My first item of the week, luggage tags. I think it's fair.
I really like the wooden top kitchens.
Using recycled sometimes. I don't want to see super massive hyper sales every other month. I guess that you need some difference between that and just super massive H.
That was the end of the week. That was 7 days of me recording everything I threw in my bin. Are you ready for the reveal? So overall, I am happy with how the experiment went. In total, there was 28 items that I ended up, well, doing something with. Either went to the general recycling or I repurposed it. I repurposed 6 of those items, so that leaves 22 that went general or recycling, split equally, so 11, which I think is okay. There were a couple things. The pain points for me really were the takeaway evening, where we had burgers. And generally I choose either burgers or pizza because they come wrapped in cardboard, but they will go, you can't recycle it or anything, and they will go. And there was leftover food. My partner ordered too much burger and chips, and so he didn't eat everything. So then you end up having to throw away food, which is the worst because that's what makes your bin smell. And that's what makes you have to take out your bin. So I didn't like that, but so be it. There were some things from my partner, not everything. It's a communal house, so things like his soap. I use zero waste soap, but he uses Dove. So some things I can't get rid of myself. So there was a lot of wrappers. There were a lot of wrappers like biscuit wrappers. There was a chocolate wrappers as well, which actually, that chocolate wrapper one, that prompted me to try to make my own chocolate, because I did realize that I do eat a lot of chocolate and it always comes wrapped in foil and card, and I don't like that. So I've actually, since a couple of days ago, I started making my own dark salted chocolate, which has worked out really well. I actually made a video about it, which I'll link here. So that's going to be a great swap for the future, and I could just make a whole slab of chocolate and use that, and it's much more zero waste than the actual wrappers and things like that. Another thing is milk cartons. So I buy a big carton of milk to make my yogurt in, and then my partner drinks milk as well for his cereal. I haven't been able to swap the milk for like a reusable or a swappable kind of glass jar situation where they might like deliver milk like the old school delivery. I know they exist, but I haven't managed to do that yet, so that's still something to work on. And there's a bunch of things that I use in my poof, so that's great. So all the like really bad wrapper stuff that's cleaned, crisp packets, things like that I do put in my poof, so I'm okay with that. And then obviously there are a lot of envelopes, which you can't just stop that. People put stuff through your door and they're letters that maybe you need. All in all, I'm happy with how it went. I hope you found it interesting. I might kind of continue this. I might do another version of it and see how I improve over time. It definitely prompted me to think more about it. I tend to get chicken or meat from a butcher, but they do come wrapped in paper or something like that, and the paper is probably lined in plastic. But this week when I did go, I brought my own Tupperware and I said, just put it directly in here. So the actual just act of me recording everything really prompted me to make that extra effort that I wouldn't normally do. And it is not that much effort just to bring your own Tupperware to a shop like that sells meat or fish or whatever. So I think I will try and continue that, because that was really good. Because meat contaminated paper, you just don't want that. The other thing that it prompted me to do was I made my own hummus, which was great. So usually I buy hummus and it's just in a plastic pot thing. So this time I made hummus. So I just got a glass jar of chickpeas. I had already some tahini, and it was just olive oil, garlic and cumin. So I made a big jar of hummus, and that was it. So it definitely helped me do a couple more swaps, improve a little bit. I hope it might prompt you to make some swaps, and over time I'd still hope to reduce that. I think takeaways and wrappers and things like that I could still improve on. There are some wrappers that I threw away in the general, which I probably could have cleaned better and then put into my poof. I could have reduced a bit more on that. Sometimes I get lazy and I just chuck it. There was also a tea bag that I chucked, and tea bags sometimes it's unclear whether some of the bags and the packaging sometimes is lined with plastic, so it's not always compostable. And I usually have loose leaf tea. I just have this one packet of like normal tea bag tea. So that was kind of a one-off-ish thing. But yeah, also I started to compost my paper, which I haven't really done a lot of. Yes, I threw away a lot of envelopes, but a lot of the paper I did at the beginning of envelopes, I did decide to just compost it instead of throwing it away in the recycling. I also do make my own paper a lot of the time. I have a video on that which I'll link. So I do save a lot of, if it's a coloured paper or just some nice white paper, then I will often keep that to remake into some craft paper. So things like that. Sometimes I get lazy, sometimes I just chuck it, and that's not great, but it's a journey. I'm getting there. I think I will be improving still. But yeah, I thought it was really fun and I'm keen to do it again, but let me know what you think. And yeah, have a great day.